Welcome to Cosmic Comics, Games and Collectibles, your zen of geekism. We carry comics old and new, magazines, toys, games like Pokemon, Magic, D&D. Want Godzilla, Ultraman, Star Trek, Ninja Turtles, Funko Pops? You'll find it all here. Shop our Cosmic Sound Room and pick up a record or two. Enjoy our Comic Coffee Lounge with a cup of Sasquatch coffee or a delicious menu item while geeking out over a super cool movie on our big screen. Come by and say hello to Maui. Cosmic Comic, Games and Collectibles. Superman loves us, and so will you.
And good evening. I am RJ Carter, Senior Managing Editor here at CriticalBlast.com. Welcome to another open mic night. This is, of course, your night to grab the mic and talk about the things that are going on with your comic campaign. Could be you've got a Kickstarter coming up, you've got an Indiegogo, maybe you're going to go direct print, maybe you're just doing cards, maybe you're doing toys, whatever it is. If it's pop culture, entertainment related, come on and talk to us. Come on and talk to us about what you're doing, about what you've seen. It's okay. Joining us tonight is our slate of unscheduled yet nonetheless regular guests. We have Mike Walter from the Mike Stand. Mike, how you doing tonight?
All right, how about yourself?
I feel like I'm doing okay, but it's the end of a long weekend for me. It's every other weekend. I make the drive, I mow the lawn, I do the grocery shopping, I get back in the car and I drive back, and it's like, it's one big long 52-hour day. It's wonderful.
Yeah, I don't know if you know. Oh, hold on. I guess I forgot to do something here.
Oh, well, while you do that, I will bring James into the screen. James, I just meant to remove you from the screen. I don't think I kicked you, but
no, I was completely kicked. I was like, whoa, wait a minute.
Yeah, well,
that's what I was going to let you know before I realized that I forgot to mute my YouTube side.
Okay. But yeah, I saw you go down into the green room area, and then I put Mike down there, and I put me down there, and then you disappeared entirely. I was like, where'd you go?
I don't know what happened, but hey.
It's another feature of StreamYards to do that.
Yes.
We have an active chat with us tonight. We have a Simple Jack show out there. Welcome, Simple Jack. Stupendous is with us. Stupendous is a member, so we highlight his comments, and yes, it may look like
blast, 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 blast.
Yes, now that's what it looks like in StreamYard, but if you're on YouTube, it looks like the little emoji for the Critical Blast badge, which is the only emoji we have out there for our members to use that's special. Action Toys channel, hello. Lorenzo Sleesback, hey everyone.
Coming off co-hosting the historical comic retrospect with me this past Friday as Patco was tending to his son's wedding. So Action Toys filled in for him this past weekend. So
I'm going to bring up the stream in YouTube. Up.
So Action Toys filled in for him.
Okay, there. I muted my YouTube, and then it sounded like it muted everything. And I'm doing that to take care of, well, why can't I'm not seeing all the different chats I want to see.
What's the matter?
There we go. I'm trying to mod somebody. And boom. There we go. It's interesting. There were chats in StreamYard that were not in YouTube, and even though it said it came from YouTube. So, Stupendous, you are modded, so you can start working stuff, dropping links in the chat. Mike, are you muted?
No,
I was just waiting for you to get done.
Okay. Oh, well, I was just preparing you in case we got an echo feedback from my bringing up YouTube, the YouTube channel, because I've had that happen before. I tried to look up. I tried to actually do due diligence before this stream started. Just to have stuff to talk about. And I've decided that I have a pet peeve now that newspapers are online.
Uh-oh.
And that's that because they're local papers and they're used to being local papers, they assume that if you're reading the paper, you know where you are. But when you're doing an internet search and you find something, for instance, I found this from the Fayetteville Observer, and I will share it because I was just looking up comics news, and hey, here's a Fayetteville comic book store celebrates more than 40 years in the business. Now, I'm here in Eureka Springs, Arkansas, which is like 45 minutes north of Fayetteville, Arkansas, where the colleges are, which, would be like, yeah, that's where I'd put a comic book store, right there where the college kids are assembled. And I'm reading this thing, I'm like, but none of this makes sense. I don't know where these streets are. And it wasn't until I got down to the mention of Fort Bragg that I realized that this is Fayetteville, North Carolina. But the words North Carolina appear nowhere in this, not even in the the opening paragraph of the thing. But it does make more sense because I did spend time down there, and I recognized the Dragon's Lair name of the comic book store. And they do have a real kick-ass comic book store if you're in the central North Carolina area. Oh, and we are getting links. Thank you, Stu. Yeah, we got some links. Good stuff here. Isadora coming up from D.A. Lungaro. Had him on the stream earlier this week. I have not had chat scrolled on me. I've not had the Mighty Might on. I really need to have Mighty Might on and talk to those guys. Got some good Kickstarter streams there. But if you're in the North Carolina area, stop into Dragon's Lair and wish them a happy 40th anniversary, and tell them we said hi. They won't know who we are, and they'll give you a blank look and they'll say okay. But
RJ, I was just thinking when you mentioned when you commented there about how having a comic book store near a college what was kind of a good idea. But is it at this point? Because my general impression is the demographic for comics readers has changed from the time when maybe we were all kids to now. Because I get more the impression more of your comic book readers tend to be older people. You don't have as many of the younger crowd, like the 15 to 25-year-olds reading comics as much as maybe in the past.
Probably. And as much as I would think that a college town would be a hot spot for comics, I did talk with a guy who ran a chain of comic stores, and he said quite the opposite, that it's not the best place to open a chain of comic stores because the demographics are transient all the time. You have somebody buying comics for 3 years and then they're gone. I don't know.
Oh, that's another good point on that particular issue. But yeah, I was
okay. Speaking of comic book stores, I got to do a plug out because this was really cool. This week I went looking for a Batman 1000 Bernie Wrightson cover.
Ooh.
Yeah, so I went looking for that thing, and I found one at a little comic book shop I think it's called Forbidden Geek. Let me look. Forbidden Geek. It's online. It's a little mom and pop shop. They had one. They sent it to me. Well, they sent it in the Gemini. They sent it actually in Gemini mailer and everything. So that, they do a really good job of sending stuff. But I bought that one book. They sent me a personal thank you email with a 30% off code.
Wow.
Just to say thank you for bidding. So if you guys are looking for hard-looking comic books, check out Forbidden Geek. They're very friendly, very nice, and like I said, they sent me a 30% off code for my next order. And I only bought one book from them. So I'm definitely going to go back and buy some more from them. But, check them out. I mean, really nice guys. Like I said, it looks like it's just a little mom and pop operation, but, hey, they're getting 30% off. A lot
of times those are the best type, mom.
So
whatever line of business, those are usually the best type.
Now, is that ForbiddenGeek.com?
Yeah. I believe that's right. Let me do a look.
Okay. Because it looks to me like they're an overseas from us.
No, they're not overseas. Hold on, let me look. Hold on one second.
Okay. I'm reading it wrong. Yeah.
Yeah, FORBIDDEN geek.com.
Yeah, and the thing at the top of their page says spend $50 to unlock free shipping in the U.S. And I was thinking to the U.S. That is not the same thing at all. So,
Yeah.
So if you're looking for comics online and you want to get a good deal and friendly service, which we're all about the customer service thing here. That's kind of what has really pushed this whole crowdfunding movement is customer service. Putting the link in the chat right now, Forbidden Geek, www.forbiddengeek.com. Click on that and check out what they got.
And like I said, I got the book for like $7, $8. And it's Bernie Wrightson. It's a Bernie Wrightson cover.
It's a good deal. I mean, that was less than cover, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It was less than cover.
This
cover was like
10.
Yeah, it was $10 book, but yeah. And I think what it is, nobody knows about that cover, and because I couldn't find a cover anywhere around here. It's just one of those rare covers that nobody knows about, talks about. So I think later on it's going to be like he did a cover on Batman 1000.
I'll be honest with you, I didn't know Bernie Wrightson was still alive.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah, I guess it might be one of his older drawings that they used, but it's on the cover. It's the cover. So I was like, okay, I'm going to go get it. Also, speaking of comics, got this week.
Oh, let me give you full screen here. Yes. Tell us about this and show
this
us.
Is Sovereign. So this is a really thick box with shipping label and everything. This is, this is an expensive box. This cost him some money to get made, and he's shipping stuff in this. So this is really cool. Let me set it down so I can open it up, because yes, I've already opened it up. So on mine, I got the one of the jumbo packages. So you get the book, board and bagged. It is very thick. I think it's either 80 pages or 100 pages. So it's really good. So it's fantastic like that. And also get a whole bunch of another book. This is their original book they did. Let me get back so I can get that glare off. But this is the original book they did. Yeah, if I can open it, hold it. That they did before this one here, and it comes with a full card. It comes with trading cards, posters. It even comes out with a push. One of those old timey where you pop it loose and it stands up for you.
Yeah,
it's got one of those in it. Got another poster on the back of this one. And it's a fantastic product. And I'll say this: I've already read it, and they did a fantastic job with the comic. Fantastic job. Highly recommend the comic. If you haven't got it, it's still in demand. Go over and pick it up. It's really, really good.
That is Eddie Winkler's Sovereign Wolf too, by the way, which I thought he was going. I think he's still moving forward with plans to do a 3D printed action figure on that. I just looked up Bernie Wrightson. He did indeed die in 2017. So this would be reused art. This would be the cover I think you're talking about?
Yeah, that's the cover.
Yeah, that was $9.99 cover, Detective 1000. And that is a sweet looking Batman looking over that perch. And Silver Age Batman at that, because he's got the yellow oval.
I know. I saw that and I was like, I didn't even know he did it. That's the whole thing. I didn't know he did it. I knew about, Jim had done like 3 or 4 and they had other people and stuff. And then as I'm going through the covers and I see this, okay, I saw the picture of it. I was like, I got to have that cover.
Yeah.
So I went looking, and everybody's got them, other places, they were high. And like I said, Forbidden Geek, they had it. And I was like, I'll pick it up. But even with the protective shipping, it came out to like $13.
That's beautiful price.
Yeah. So but yeah, I just love that cover.
The first time I saw Bernie Wrightson do Batman, I think was Swamp Thing #4.
Yeah.
When he goes to Gotham and it's just this gorgeous cover of Swamp Thing clinging to a building and Batman swinging on a rope toward him.
Yeah. We're losing some of the great artists.
Yeah, we are. We're getting great artists too. It's going to take us a while to recognize them for how good they really are, widespread. But we're seeing more and more.
Yeah. Well, you got to remember, Batman's only, what is this? This is 2001.
Yep.
He's only 8 years away from 90.
Yeah.
You don't realize it. And the thing I always remember about is that when Detective Comics 27 came out, it was the same month my dad was born. So that was one of those things. So
That's true. I'm this far away from doing Peter Samiti kind of stream right now. If you've ever, he's gotten away from that because he's devoting more time to the stream when he talks to people.
Are you talking about the 5-minute mic time?
Oh, I'd still do that if anybody logged in. But no, he used to like be packaging books while he was on stream talking. So
Yeah.
I've got 1,000 bags, and I've got 1,000 backers, and my whole
Floor is full.
yeah, the floor is full, the bed is full, the table is full, the chair is full. And my plan is to, I have no books yet to ship. They're coming.
But getting the bags ready.
Everything's gonna be ready. I've got everything will be kitted and ready to be just pre-packed and just in stacks and be like.
I know how you feel because I just went through 100 boards and bags yesterday. I'm finally cleaning up my collection because you remember I had all those stacks of comics at one time. Yeah. I was looking. I have 2 of them that have been stacked there. Oh, by the way, remember we were talking about getting comics in the mail back in the day?
Yes.
Guess what I got? I got 2 still in the bags. I have 2 comic books that are still in the bags. I never opened them.
Oh, cool. So this would be like from the 80s.
Actually, no. They're City of Heroes comics from the video game.
Okay. Yeah, I remember that City of Heroes. Man, I want to
not Top Cows.
Right, but the video game City of Heroes. It was like
well, the game's back. You can play the game now, but it is back. But the small time company that first started comics, it's theirs.
Yeah,
I've got 2. I've got 2 that are still in the clear plastic mailers. I never opened them.
They mailed them in clear plastic so you could tell it was a comic book when it arrived?
Yeah.
I would never mail something like that.
Yeah, they did it that way. It was really cool. Also, one big thing.
I am working, Will. It's Sunday. Come on.
Now, I do watch NHK News. NHK News is, of course, the big news station out of Japan. And June 9th was very eye-opening to me.
What happened?
So I'm gonna explain what happened June 9th. And this is a call out to everybody in Comicsgate, comic book world, DC, Marvel. I don't care who you are. This should really rattle you everybody. They went into a store. June 9th was the last manga produced for Attack on Titan. This one store had 5,000 copies. The whole front of the store was full of it, of that one issue.
Okay.
By 5 o'clock in the evening, they sold every issue.
No, that's not possible.
They did it.
Kids aren't reading comics, James. Come
on. This wasn't kids. This was everybody coming in. This was adults, kids, everybody. They snatched them things up faster than I have never seen anything like this, except for when Spawn 1 came out or X-Men #1 came out. It was like watching that
faster than you can say Mississippi.
I mean, and that was just one store.
That's like Death of Superman turnout.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's what they're doing. I mean, it's like, oh, it's the last issue. We're coming to get it, and the last issue of Berserk hasn't come out yet. What do you think What do you think that's going to do?
That's gonna make Demon Slayer look like little Lulu.
Well, I mean, if you've been watching any of Flash's videos, the whole manga explosion has been happening for quite a while. Where
manga's completely obliterating everything.
Yep.
You know, I mean, I read. I don't, and I'll say this: I'm not a big fan of Attack on Titan. I can't get into the story. I'm not. It borderlines to cannibalism, if you read it, I can't get into that. It's just like Berserk. I mean, I like his artwork. I think it's fantastic. I just cannot get into the story of Berserk. I never have been able to. Books that I read. I mean, I have Claymore, One Punch Man, stuff like that. Ranma One Half, Inuyasha. I love those mangas, but it goes to the person.
Yeah, I'm getting ready to start watching One Punch Man. I gotta finish up the series I'm on right now.
Don't take it serious. Sit back, enjoy it, because it is fantastic.
Yeah, I get the premise. I mean, it's a comedy because he's like too super powered and he's bored because nothing's a challenge.
Yeah, basically that's it. And he doesn't take anything serious.
Why should he?
It's really, and everybody that's around him is great. And because I read the manga, so I know what's going on. It's here when he came up with the idea, it's really good. And now there is a short version, a live action short fight scene that was done. It's on YouTube, and it is fantastic. I mean, it is just fantastic. It's almost exactly like the anime.
I'll have to look that up.
Yeah, it's really good.
Speaking of because I know you just mentioned Inuyasha in there. Speaking of Inuyasha, they just announced that, I guess, on the weekend of the 26th, 27th.
Oh, yeah. You mean the new series? That's
Yashahime is coming to Toonami.
Okay, I have seen all of it. I've already seen all of it. It's been on Funimation for almost a year now.
What's coming to Toonami?
This is basically the story is Inuyasha's daughter and Shishomaru's two daughters are now teenagers, and it's their story.
Okay, but I don't know what the series is.
Yashahime, Princess Half Demon. It's kind of a sequel to Inuyasha.
It is a sequel. You do see Shishomaru and Inuyasha in it. That's one thing, and it's well done. It's still overseen by the same lady who created Inuyasha. And I have to say, I'm going to say this. I don't care what anybody says. She's probably one of the greatest female personalities in comic book manga history. Her work, everything she's done, I love. I mean, she's the creator of Ranma One Half. She's the creator, the writer, and the artist. For Ranma One Half, Inuyasha, all that stuff. I mean, she is fantastic.
I should reach out to these people and see if I can't get an interview with one of them and ask them what it is that we're doing so wrong, that they're doing so right.
Reach out to the manga creators.
Yeah, why not?
That would make for a good stream.
I put it like this: if you advertise that you had her on, your stream would crash. There'd be so many people. I mean, seriously, it would crash. You'd have so many people in here. I mean, you'd probably have 15,000, 20,000 people in here. It'd probably be the biggest event of all time.
I only have to do it once.
Yeah. Well, okay. Here's the thing. Here's the challenge for you, though, RJ. Let's say you were to reach out to her. Are you sure? Does anybody know how much English?
She speaks quite a bit. I met her. She speaks quite a bit.
Okay.
Well, there we go.
Yeah,
because that would be because you don't. It's kind of hard to know how much English like some of these manga would know, and it would make interviewing them. Yeah, it would make interviewing them a little bit more difficult if they didn't have at least some reasonable experience with the English language.
Right. But yeah, I mean, and then of course, last week there was the argument of which anime was better, Akira or Ghost in the Shell. And I'm saying, yeah, both those are great, but you got to go back a few more years and see Macross, because Macross came out first, and that came out in '84. So that one you can see on YouTube. That one is just really good. It's the movie, not the TV series, which became Robotech.
I think the actual Macross came out a little earlier because I remember they used elements of two of the Macross series to make Robotech.
It was Macross, Southern Cross, and Mesophia. There are 3 different TV series that they put together to make Robotech. It's just like Captain Harlock and the Queen of a Thousand Years. They used 2 different series to put them together to make a TV series because
they did the same thing with Voltron too. They took
Right.
Go Lion and Die Ruger 15
but
and did the same thing with
the thing about the Macross movie, it came out after the Macross TV series came out. So the movie actually came out in '84. The Macross TV series in Japan came out in '83.
I'm going to throw an opinion thing out to the chat here while we're talking. I am putting the boards into these bags. Now, these bags are the kind where you peel the strip off and the adhesive is on it. Do you want your bags sealed when they come in, or do you want them just kind of like down and in the Gemini mailer, and then you can flip it open, get your stuff out, and then seal it yourself?
I prefer a piece of tape.
Okay.
Because a piece of tape you can open up a little bit, read the book, and then put it back in and seal it back up. That whole sticky bag sometimes can get, if it gets really hot, like going through the Gemini mailer, it'll be like almost like a glue, and it's almost hot. It's real, when you open it, you damage the bag.
Yeah, because I've seen, I've received bags that have this on it, and they're not sealed. They're left open for the person to seal stuff. But Eric and Will are saying they want it sealed. They want their book sealed.
Yeah.
So maybe what I'll do is I'll seal them, but I'll seal them with like a piece of magic tape.
Yeah, that's the best way to do it.
Yeah, Action Toy says tape. All right, got to buy some tape. A few thousand yards of tape.
And still waiting on my Solemn Android action figure because I got the 2-pack, and he's not sent those out yet. So.
Oh, okay, I know he sent some of them
RJ, you got 10 people watching and 12 likes.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate everybody showing up. This past week is just kind of like a lot of people started tuning in. I don't know why. I haven't done anything different.
And I got another surprise. RJ, if you can show, hold on and pull it up. But I have the cover to the new Steins book. So if you will pull that up. That is the new cover for the Steins. That's going to be the cover for Steins 2, Carmela, which comes out this September. This is part 2 of the 3-part story. So, yeah, this is, you actually see the main villain, which she's on the screen.
Now, this is Jose Garcia's work, too, right?
Yes, this is Jose Garcia. Yeah, fantastic. He did a fantastic work on this. It is just, I can zoom in and let you look at it because, the detail he did, you can just look at the throne is fantastic. The brickwork, this is like, he did a fantastic job. Just this area, look at the throne. Look at all the detail he put into the throne.
Yes, a lot of it.
And then look at the over her hands and everything. Just
all that filigree.
And her boots. The boots and everything. He just fantastic job. Even the shading in the stairs. The bootlaces on the boots.
That's sweet.
He just did. He's fantastic. He is such a wonderful guy. So, but that's the cover.
So we have the release date.
Not yet, but it is September. So I'm wanting it because the convention's on the 14th. I think. Hold on, let me look at the dates. September. So no, the convention's on the 17th. I would like it to come out. I'm going to try to shoot for Tuesday the 7th.
Yeah.
In September.
You want to have enough time for.
That way I can get copies.
Yeah, you got to allow for enough time for Ingram Spark to actually get it to you.
Yeah.
Because that's happened to me before. I've ordered it and I'm like, I've got 2 weeks. How come I'm not getting it in time?
Yeah.
Hail, Roberts. Welcome to the chat. We're just kind of sitting around talking comics and sharing pictures. And I will say CBS News on the cutting edge of comic book media-related industry topic has finally figured out that Milestone is back or is coming back.
It might be. It may not be coming back.
Uh-oh.
I've heard some stuff about what's fixing to happen in DC. Remember, Discovery has it now.
This is true.
And basically what I said, if they didn't get their stuff together, was going to happen, possibly look like it's going to happen.
Yeah, are we predicting Bloodbath Part 3, Electric Boogaloo?
There's gonna be Part 3 Bloodbath. It's coming.
Who have they got left to cut?
Well, let's see. There's quite a few. I mean, we just saw that new Aquaman disaster come out. There's quite a few. I mean, like I said, I think they're going to have to cut it back down to like what I would do if I was put in charge to get DC fundamentally solvent, which is what Discovery wants. Is real simple. Cut back 2 Batman titles, 2 Superman titles, 1 Wonder Woman title. Those are your main ones. Those are your monthly titles.
Yeah.
Okay. Justice League, throw everybody into Justice League. Flash, Aquaman, Power Girl. I'd even throw Icon in there. Hawk Girl. Make it like a X-Men type book or Avengers type book, and do it as a 90-day annual 80-page spectacular, where it comes out every 90 days. And then, after that, look at your other top selling books, what you have around. But I'd only do like the top 10 books. That's it. Which I know most of them are Batman's and Superman's, but you got to, cut what you got to cut back what you got to cut back, and then run like that. So I would not see, maybe 10 titles monthly and 4 of these 90-day graphics come out. Yeah. That's it.
You know what I think they need to do? And it's not disagreeing at all with what you think they need to do. Might even be falling right in line with it. I think they need to quit selling us bi-weekly chapters of a 24-chapter novel.
Exactly. Yeah, that's the whole point. You got to get back. I would not have Detective Comics and Batman telling the same story.
No.
I would like they used to do. I'd run them separate. 2 different stories of Batman.
Yeah. But, even when they were running the same story, it was like this theme is running through it, like this longer telling, like Nocturna looking to adopt Jason Todd away from Batman. That was the long story, but every issue was its own adventure, and it had a beginning and an end. There was no, constant ramping up of something.
I know,
But what you're talking about is what you're saying is you don't feel they should run one storyline across
multiple books.
The family of books.
Right.
They can.
I would have to say I generally agree. I think it would be one thing if it's like one special event.
You can do it if you do it. I'm going to bring up one that they did it with. And this is Marvel, X-Men, Extinction Agenda.
X-Men in general did it all the time. I mean, there were long-running storylines in that thing.
But what I'm talking about is when you go across the books.
Oh yeah, I got you.
We're going to have Extinction Agenda. It's going to be 4 months. This is what's going to happen. You got to pick up all the books to get everything. But if you miss a book, you can still follow it.
Yeah, but what I'm talking about is I'm tired of things like City of Bane, or the Joker War.
Yeah.
Give me a Batman book that's like, hey, Mad Hatter is going to rob the First National Bank, and he's got, he's replaced all the police helmet with mind controls. And Batman figures it out and solves it, and the police are all happy, and they capture the Mad Hatter, and he's off to jail, and he swings off into the signal.
Hey, RJ, you know where you're going to probably find those stories?
In the 70s.
In the past.
Yeah.
If you want stories like that, you should probably be watching more of my Friday streams, because we're, as you know, I'm going back through all that.
That's right.
I'm not up to any Batman stories. We're still in November of 37, but with the way I'm doing it, you'll catch a lot of that.
But they still know how to write these stories, because can you imagine if the people who are writing, who were writing Batman, wrote Batman the Animated Series? It'd be like this 27-episode season that was telling one story. There's no way that would have ever lasted.
Well, the thing about it is you can do it. All you got to do is look at Manga, and especially like when they do their animated when they do their animation, because it does most of the time it runs together, an ongoing story. but you're wanting to see what comes next. You end a chapter, you end a situation after a certain amount of time and continue on.
Well,
Naruto did it, Dragon Ball Z did it, Bleach did it, Inuyasha did it. They all did it, and it can work. It really can. But the problem you have, and this is the problem that DC and Marvel and everybody has, is they're so worried about Twitter.
Oh yeah.
And it's destroying any chance of them making money.
Well, and that's why we've been seeing these tweets now from people in the comic industry saying, "Hey, only like 12% of your readership is on Twitter."
Yeah, we
perhaps
saw that.
Perhaps setting us up for the fact that there's going to be a drastic change, and then looks at something to look back and say we're changing because of this.
Well, the thing about it is they can say we're changing because of trends. No, you're trying to. The way I put it is you're trying to take juice out of a turnip because there's nothing there.
Yeah.
I mean, there's nothing to go for. You have alienated your readership, and they've alienated their readership. And I'm sorry to say that, and I'm not you know what? I'm not sorry to say this. Okay, because I'm tired of seeing it. There is a demographic that everybody has trashed on, and that is the white conservative or the straight conservative male.
Yep.
They are the majority of comic book readers. I don't care what anybody else says. They are the majority. They've always been the majority. They're the ones that go buy them. They're like that. When you trash and you trash and you trash and you trash on them, they stop buying. And until you stop doing that and put out stories that people want to read, which that's why they're running the manga. You go read One Punch Man or you go read My Hero Academia or Dragon Knight, it's straight up adventure. It's straight up. There's a little romance in a couple of them, but everything else is straight up adventure. And it's not what Marvel and DC are doing.
Yeah, and I don't fault them for the stated goal of trying to reach out to a new audience. Their execution was piss poor because they didn't reach out to a new audience. They shut out the old audience and tried to replace it.
Right. Well, it's kind of funny how you guys are talking about that too, because one of the stories I covered this last week, and I'm sure you guys heard about it because I wasn't the only one covered. I know Flash covered this. I know a few other people covered this. The Amelia Clark story where she
okay. Listen, I don't even want to bring that up. Okay, I mean that's just the stupidest thing. And I'll put it like this.
I agree with you.
No. You have to understand something.
It is the stupidest thing. An armpit Spider Woman.
No, hey, just okay. Stop for a minute. Okay, this thing about menstrual cycle thing, it's been done. Okay, I can give you two characters. Two. One was in Mystery Men, known as the P.S. Avenger.
Yep.
Okay, if you don't believe me, go back and look. She's there. The other one is George Perez's Crimson Blood character.
I kind of remembered that, but that was obviously not a DC character.
No, that was his, and it's very dark. Okay.
Well,
but this thing about let her do what she wants to do. Okay, if it sells, okay, it sells. If you're going to trash it, okay, that's what's wrong with comic book business right now. Everybody trashes everything before it even comes out. There may be an audience for it. If it fails, it's going to fall flat on its face.
Yeah,
I have a feeling it's going to fail because it is only appealing to, I think, a very small percentage of people. I doubt very seriously that people. That's just my opinion, mind you.
Here's the other thing. Just like with all these shows, Hollywood and stuff, it's real simple. If you don't like it, don't watch it. Don't spend your money on it.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what people are doing now is, I'm tired of this. I'm not going to spend my money on it. I'm going to walk away, and that's it. That's why if you look, the two biggest movies so far out there that's been out at the movie theaters or whatnot, the two biggest have been King Kong Godzilla and Mortal Kombat. Not because they're spectacular movies or anything like that. They were fun movies to go watch.
I got to review that too. I just got
one of
Converse and
my
Godzilla.
particular criticisms about Amelia Clark and her reasoning for making the comic book, I felt was a little bit flawed, because she's in there saying that there weren't a whole lot of strong female comic book characters, which I was just calling her on that BS, because that's, well, the way she was making it sound like there weren't. I mean, it's like, what, you never heard of Wonder Woman? It's like, I was calling her BS on it, when I was covering the story.
I mean, if you want to go through strong female characters, just the basic strong female characters, we're just going to take Marvel and DC. Okay? DC, you got Supergirl, you got Wonder Woman, you got Power Girl. Those are just three. Okay? Then you get over into Marvel, and oh my God, there's a ton of them. You've got She-Hulk, you've got Rogue. Let's not take that out of protection. Rogue is right there with all the others. She is powerful. She's strong. She is a tough girl.
Thanks to Captain Marvel.
No, yeah, no. Ms. Marvel.
Ms. Marvel, that's right.
Ms. Marvel. Yeah, she that she is the true bad girl of, and you got all these powerful girls. You have all these powerful girls. And this notion of, there's no, I was like, you don't read comics. Again, you don't read comics. Now,
and I was saying the same thing when I was reading.
It's real simple. It's real simple. She went with Image Comics.
Yeah.
Okay.
She's paying them.
A lot of Image Comics books, the way Image Comics works, and I've kind of keep along. Right now, Image Comics is on a high because of Todd McFarlane and his new Spawn Universe books that's fixing to hit on June 23rd. They got over 200-something thousand copies already ordered, and it's still going. It's going to be the biggest Image title release in a long time.
Yeah, well,
he's gearing it up. He's going for it. And what I think happened is Todd was like, "Hey, we're foundering. We're stagnant. I need to do something," and he did. And he went and got a lot of people too. He got Brett Booth. He got David Finch. I mean, he went and got some Alex Gardner. J. Scott Campbell. I mean, he went and got some really good, talented people. He's not playing.
Captain Hipster Spock, changed his name, has the best point of this all. You got to respect all potential audiences, and if there is a potential audience for Amelia Clark's book, then
go for it.
It's out there, and they'll find it. Now he does, kind of get the win here. This period comic. Is it a monthly?
Good shot. But a lot of the Image comic books that are coming out now, because what Image does is they're basically a publishing company. When you have a lot of different studios flooding their books in there, and they're helping to publish them. You know what I'm saying?
Robert Roberts said something pretty.
Okay. But a lot of the number one books that come out print 4,000 to 5,000 copies. That's it. They're done. You don't see number 2. You don't see number 3. I see Image post, this new book's coming out on LinkedIn. They're posting all these new books coming out. And it's always just a new number one, and that's it. It's over.
That's the
it's done. And I mean, that's the way to do it. And it's a hit and miss. And Image will stay alive doing it that way.
Yeah.
Well, but because they got Todd and Mark Silvestri.
You mentioned Crimson and the PMS Avenger, but has it been that long since Image published Maneaters?
Yeah, it's been that long.
It's been like what, two years?
What, was that a comic based on the song or something like that?
No, that was a comic based on the fact that when women got their periods, if they'd been exposed to cat poop and cat litter, they would become feral cats and attack people.
Oh.
Hey, boy.
Yeah, that was a comic book. That ran multiple issues. It was
exposed to cat poop turn them into feral cats to go around eating men. Okay.
Yeah, I mean like large feral cats, not like alley cats, but
Okay.
Obviously, cat humanoid creatures. Obviously, yeah, I get that.
yeah, I mean here I've got the cover. Just drag it over and drop it in. Here is a cover to Man Eaters. Like I said, it ran multiple issues, but it gives you a sense of the Chelsea Kane's book, Man Eaters.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Oh, here she comes. Watch out, boy, she'll chew you up.
No,
Oh,
I'm not
here
even
she comes.
I'm not even thinking about that song.
She's a man eater.
I'm thinking about the one from Whitesnake. Kitten's Got Claws.
Oh, jeez. Well, the karaoke stream is over on somebody else's channel tonight.
Yeah, not here. But no, I mean, like I said, after what I saw on NHK, I was like, holy cow. I mean, this is something that as a organization, as a group, I'm talking about comics in general, comic companies in general altogether, you got to sit down, you got to figure out what's going on to combat this. I mean, seriously, if they're selling that kind of books that fast, that quick, and they have a multiple age audience. I'm talking multiple age audience. I'm talking about men in business suits buying the book as well as kids.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the whole thing. How are you able to get everybody to buy the book? That's the goal. Getting everybody, not just this little group over here or this little group over there, but I mean everybody.
And now
by appealing to all audiences and not just singling out a specific audience.
In my view, Attack on Titan is not one of them. I'm one of the people that just I can watch like an episode or two and then I got to stop because I just cannot. I'm not real big on that show.
Well, let me ask you this, Mike, because you're kind of tuned into Japanese culture here. Everybody who bought this last issue of Attack on Titan, is there an aftermarket collector's mentality in Japan when it comes to manga?
No.
While I am in some areas, I do have some idea of Japanese culture in some areas. Manga is not one of them, unfortunately.
No,
I'm a little bit more. I'm more into anime than manga.
Okay.
I can put it this way: I can still find like first edition Ranmas and stuff for cover price.
Okay, because if they and I might have if I addressed the question to Mike, that was accident. I meant James is the one who's keyed into the Japanese culture.
Yeah, no, it's not. They're not spending big bucks for like issue ones and stuff. They're getting issue ones. They're
going in to close out and say this is our last issue of Superman, and by God, we really mean it this time because there's no more company. Everyone would go buy it in America. You'd see that kind of turnout simply for the collectability of it. But what you're saying here with this book is they're buying it for the readability of it.
Correct. That's the thing. It's not collectability. It's readability. Everybody wants to read it. They want to know how it ends. They want to see what happens. It's like One Punch Man. It's like the other things. Mm-hmm. And the problem getting over here is unless you can read Japanese, you gotta wait to get it because they gotta translate it. And Viz is very slow about doing it.
Yeah.
Viz is the only company that produces manga in the United States that comes directly from Japan. Viz Media. And Viz Media has been a giant when it comes to the manga anime business. The lady that owns it is a tiger.
Well, we have some other manga lovers here. We have Larry.
Hey, Larry. Hey, how you doing?
Welcome to the chat.
Hail.
Hail.
Can you hear me? Okay. All right.
That lady that owns this, and I'll tell you her number one unbelievably favorite manga anime that she protects more than anything is Captain Harlock. That's her. I mean, she owns everything production-wise that can be produced in the United States of Captain Harlock. She owns the rights, and she is very protective of it. That means if you're streaming stuff, like say you're pirating thing on YouTube on YouTube or something,
She'll catch you.
she'll come after you with her attorneys. I mean, she doesn't play games.
Well, she shouldn't. It's
I mean,
copyright's a big deal.
I met her at a Project Acon convention, and she is one of the nicest ladies you've ever met.
Where's all
She
that
was-
wind coming from?
Yeah, somebody's blowing into their mic.
I got a fan on. Hold on, I'll turn it off.
It's you.
It's me. There we
I
go.
was sitting here trying to hold my breath. It's like, no, it's still.
No, it's me. Don't worry about it. Okay, there we go. I need to get some 409 WD-40.
Larry,
Watcher.
Larry, what's up with Niobe? I've seen tweets.
You've seen tweets?
I've seen.
Oh my
tweets.
God, not tweets.
It's
Yeah,
terrible.
tweets.
It's terrible, man. You know, when you see
What's
tweets,
wrong? What's got you upset? What's happening?
I'm not upset. I just saw that that Niobe and Regina were going to go different directions for a while, and it doesn't sound like they had a fight or anything.
No. Listen, I was going to be part of Sailor Rogoski. Niobe was going to be in the book, but bigger things are happening with that property. And me and Brian Ball had never signed a license agreement, a contract, nothing. She was just going to be in the book. And things like that can get messy, especially things get popular when it comes to royalties and ownership and legal disputes. And so I just said, you know what, let's just have Niobe not in it yet because you haven't drawn any pages with her yet. So because I don't want to have these arguments or these, potential future disputes with friends. You know what I mean?
Wouldn't it be horrible? Yeah, I mean, it would be like a good thing that would be a nightmare if she was in the book, you had no agreements, and Netflix says we want Sailor
But
Regatta.
that's just, I mean, you said, I mean, it's not my place to say, but there is talks with Rags and Netflix and this sort of stuff. I mean,
I was just making stuff up. But
no, you're not, though. I mean, that's what's kind of going on.
I'll tell you when it comes to this, the one that I always remember, and I really felt sorry for him, was Wetworks and Will Spataccio. That's got to
I remember
be,
that series.
huh?
I remember that series.
No, but you know what happened, right?
No, I don't.
Okay, I will explain what happened. This is, I mean, it's sad. It really is. Will Spataccio and his started doing Wetworks, and then him and his wife had a very bad divorce, and she wanted it. She wanted all the royalties. She wanted all the IP. She wanted everything. And Will got ill, and he was like, I can't deal with this. So he turned around and he sold it to Jim Lee.
Okay.
And then they went off and produced everything. And all the money that came in, when he came back to help with it, he was drawing his characters, but he wasn't making the amount of money that he would have if he had owned it. Because Jim kept it to protect him from it. Basically, it was, if he ever got it back, his wife would come after him. His ex-wife would have come after him for it. So he lost all those characters because of that divorce.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, that happened 93, 90, I think it was 93. It was like right when Image formed.
That would have been a lot of money. Because
Yeah,
Wetworks was a popular
it was. I've got all the Wetworks books. I got him to sign #1, and I've got the action figures that came with them. Welsh is a real humble guy, real nice guy, and like that. And for him to go through this, think about having characters that you created, you love them, and they're like that, and you lose them.
Yeah,
I mean, it just totally heart-wrenching. And that's why I tell everybody, copyright it in your name, not in group name, not in company name, your name. That way you keep it and you own it. And it's yours. And always hold on to them.
Yeah, and he's right. And, as far as, the Rags thing goes, I mean, me and Brian are, talking about, we'll do something again in the future. Maybe it'll just be like a one-shot crossover that might be published through AntiPress or something. But, where both parties have some paper signed and all the legal aspects worked out instead of just like a handshake deal. But yeah, let's throw my character in there. You know what I mean?
that makes sense. So there was like, oh, we had a fight, but we're keeping it off of Twitter and we're kind of subtweeting.
No, there's no fight at all. I just messaged him. I was like, listen, we don't have anything signed. We never made any formal agreements. And I said, your property's growing, my property's growing. I don't want this to be weird down the road. And he completely understood exactly where I was coming from, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, because if you get something like a Netflix involved and they're like, oh crap, we don't have an agreement. What do you want? Well,
yeah, then all of a sudden we got to come up with this shit on the fly or something. You know what I mean? Like, no, I mean, as far as what's going on with us right now is, we're prepping for this. I'm gonna prep for Exciting Comics number 17, sir. So those that missed out, and if you want to share the screen for a split second,
I'll be happy to.
Yeah.
This
is what's happening. So Niobe is going to be in Exciting Comics 17, 18, 19, and 20.
I just admit that I've not even heard of Exciting Comics to know that there was a 16 back through 1.
Well, Exciting Comics is actually a very old line of comics. It became public domain, and then Ben Dunn of Antarctic Press took it over.
Okay.
So it has a long, rich history of being an anthology superhero comic book series.
Hey, question: Is AP still down in Austin?
They're in Texas. I'm not sure if it's Austin, but yeah, they're in Texas.
Oh, okay, so they're still, because back in the day, and this is how far back I know about Antarctic Press, they were across the street from Brenner Printing, and basically where they were at, they could walk over to their printer.
Yeah, we actually interviewed Ben Dunn last night on my show. We did a 3-hour interview with Ben Dunn.
I knew Ben Dunn.
Yeah. So like we covered Ninja High School and Gold Digger and the formation of Antarctic Press and where it's been and where it's going.
Now I will say a character they came up with that I thought was fantastic. Even Top Cow copied it. Was their warrior nun Ariella? Yeah,
which has a Netflix deal, right? They're on second season now for the warrior nun.
Yeah, and then they got Brian to draw issues 1, 2, and 3. Brian Denham, and he did a fantastic job on those books. I have a bunch of his pages and stuff. I own a bunch of his stuff.
I'm betting we didn't talk about Jawbreakers though.
No, well, he Brian's a good guy. I think he's ex-Marine.
Yeah, I heard from him for the first time last night. He emailed me after we interviewed Ben, and he started sending me new logos for Niobe that they did. It was pretty cool,
Oh, cool. Very nice. So now you're not in Texas, are you, Niobe?
No, brother. I'm on East Coast Canada, man.
Okay. See, I'm in Texas. Kerry Gamble's in Texas. Art Thiebert's in Texas. There's a whole bunch of us in Texas. So, I mean, I'm literally like 20 miles from Kerry Gamble.
It's not a vanity press run by dentists. It is a small press.
Listen, they're a small press. They're a small press who's been in the business for over 35 years. You guys are talking about Captain Harlock. They published Captain Harlock. They published Robotech.
I know. Believe me, dude. I know all about. Okay, I don't look it, but I'm gonna say this: next month I turn 50. Okay, I will be 50 years old, and yes, I still have dark hair. So,
lucky you.
Yes, thank you. But no, I mean,
I was born in 1971. Then
yes, I'll put it like this: I met Jim Lee first time ever 33 years ago when I was 17. So that was the first time I met him. He was drawing Alpha Flight at the time. That's how young Jim was back then, too.
Yeah, well, his first issue was like number 51 or 52, something like that.
Yeah, I've got all of them, and I met him. And he's the one, he gave me some advice 33 years ago that I live by today. So I have very much respect for him for taking time enough to tell me how to fix my anatomies. So, that was before he got famous with X-Men.
That's the first thing you did was tell you to change your name, right?
No, I did that in 97. Yeah, because my actual name's Jim. So that didn't work real good in the comic book business. I learned that the hard way. Kelsey Shannon and I both did. But no, that was back then. But yeah, Anarch Press has been around a long time. They showed that as a smaller press company, you can keep running.
Well, look, you got to look at the titles that they got now. They got Rags, they got Common America, they got Punchline, they got Patriotica. You know what I mean? They could have Niobe if they wanted it. They got some pretty strong running books and series right now. They're growing. It's amazing.
Yeah, and like I said, I remember back in the day, I don't know if they're still doing it, but Ben and his brother, they didn't care. They were going to do what they wanted to.
Yeah, sure.
This is how we're doing our books. We're going to do it our way because we own the company. It's our stuff. We're having fun. And if you don't like it, it's not our problem. that was the mentality they had, and it worked for them.
And they were some of the first manga that I remember seeing when I was, a much younger reader.
Ninja High School is one of the, Ninja High School and Gold Digger. Those are the two. Weren't those the two first ones?
Yeah, well, pretty much. I mean, this is the interview that we had with Ben. He was one of the first guys I said was ever to bring that manga look to American Western comics. Now, mind you, it wasn't back to front and right to left. He did it sort of the Western traditional way, but that art style was certainly there and still goes today. I mean, they're at 181, 82 issues. They're working towards, their milestone 200th issue coming up here in the next year.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
But yeah, I just wanted to drop in, say hello. I see you got someone in the back who's eager to get in, and I don't really want to converse with that particular person. So
that's okay. They're gonna sit there.
Okay.
They're going to sit there.
Let's just say that.
Watch last week.
Okay. Yeah.
I'll
let RJ kind of handle that.
Watch last week.
Just watch last week's open.
What do I have to fear? Testify. I have nothing to fear, but I'm here to talk comic books. I'm not here to have a bitch fight with you. You understand what I'm saying?
We keep the drama away from our guests. And Larry, I mean, I had to shut him down this week, and you know that I'll do that because you were on a stream. I had to shut you down one time. You got in an argument with somebody, right? And we're still friends. We still talk. So, shit happens. You let it cool off and you get back to business.
Yeah. I mean, Testify, if you want to go drama on me, start up a drama stream, call me out on K-Log's channel. Say whatever you want to say that way, and we can handle it there.
You'll pop over there, right?
Yeah. You know what I mean?
Exactly. That's what it's for.
All you do, Testify, is you come on these streams where it's a topic that has nothing to do with what you want to talk about. Then you come in and you spoil it for everyone else. And you know what? We as a community, we're tired of it, and we're tired of you, bud. And that's just how it goes.
And that's the end of the drama. We're not even going to talk about that anymore.
Sure.
I'm going to move my head. I put up a new pinup, and no one can see it because it's like it's 30 feet back, and it's really only 5. I put up one of my Batgirl prints finally. Because I just wanted to decorate the walls a little bit more here. The plain yellow with my closet and banner hanging in the back just doesn't scream out podcast.
Hey, RJ, would you like to know what I did? Would you like a little update on what I did this past Friday?
Of course. Tell us what's on the mic stand.
Yeah. So this past Friday, as I mentioned earlier, before we started, I had Action Toys Channel as my co-host because Batgoat was off doing his son's wedding. Now, for those of you who don't know, I have my own channel, the Mic Stand, in which I live stream Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Pacific, 10 p.m. Eastern. Monday through Thursday, I basically cover niche news.
You get into the gold, yeah. You do the the bounding into comics and finding the articles on there and going over them and giving commentary.
Right. And then on Fridays, what I do is I do a historical comics retrospect. I started all the way back in 1933. So if you want to get a better idea, and you want to have a good look at how comics history kind of evolved over time, then I would suggest you come by and watch me. This past Friday, what I did, of course, is we were looking back to November of 1937, covering some of the books that went on sale in November of 1937 from DC Comics. So, I read through a couple of stories from Detective Comics number 10, New Adventure, I believe number 21, and then number, I think, 27 of More Fun. The stories that I read through included Slam Bradley in the Ring. That was a pretty interesting story. Basically, it's involving Slam, who they called a kind of a hard-bitten type detective back then. Him investigating the murder of a boxer.
Yeah, Slam Bradley. Mike is the one where, if somebody ever asks you what comics you should start reading with, and we say, Dark Knight Returns or Watchmen, Mike's the guy who said, comics, I've got to start at the beginning. He's gone back to 1932 and he's just reading forward. And it's yeah, I mean, if you are not familiar with Golden Age comics, tune into the mic stand, and what app are you using to bring him up with? Because that's not Comixology, that's something else, right?
Yeah. Well, my main point for most of the summary work is Mike's Amazing World of Comics. Not my site, mind you, it's somebody else's.
Sure, another Mike.
But I'd rather keep some of the other information on the down low, as it were.
Okay, we won't say where you're getting them from, but you're showing a bunch of public domain comics anyway, so it doesn't really matter.
Right now, most of them. Right now, I don't think I'll put it this way. I don't think I have to worry too much about that stuff right now because they're so far back in time that the majority of them are, as you said, public domain. Maybe as I get closer to modern time, I might have to worry a little bit, but I am doing, as I'm reading them, I'm obviously doing comics. And I'm not reading the entire comics either. Yeah. I'm reading, like, depending upon what we're covering, of course, sometimes it'll be a case of, looking at the world building, but, my commentary, I vary my, sometimes I'll do some social commentary. Sometimes I'll do, like, word choice, let's see, some of the other stories I covered included, like, Steve Saunders, Mystery at Oak Gables.
And they were they were characters that it was sort of a pre-superhero era still, even though Superman was there. Your characters were they were just detectives. They were guys in fedoras and overcoats. And
right.
You could change any one of them with another one.
Back in those days, before Superman debuted, most of the comics were anthologies.
Yep.
And they were very mixed anthologies. You'd actually, in most of the comics, you'd have a case where you'd have a mix of, like, adventure stories and humor stories.
You'd jump right out of a Slam Bradley and be into a 2 or 3 page Sugar and Spike,
or something like that, or something from Russell Alger Cole, like, let's say a Woozy Watts or an Old Oz Bop. You also had the associate editors, of course, doing stories themselves, like Whitney Ellsworth, who went on later to become a consulting producer on the Adventures of Superman series. Vincent Sullivan, So that's just DC though. Like, I
would not want to go up against you in Golden Age Jeopardy. Okay, if you're throwing out all these names and you know where they went, the Daily Double is all yours, sir.
Well, okay, I know. Again, since I had previously focused on DC for my own purposes, I do know a lot about DC Golden Age. But with the other stuff, like with Centaur Comics, with like Dell Comics, United Features, and
Golden Key,
Charleston.
Golden Key,
stuff,
good lord!
That stuff I'm learning a lot about as I'm going through it with my audience.
I learned something about Gold Key today because I was listening to I was driving from St. Louis, so I was listening to Indie Bolt's The Sunday Funnies, and then when that was over, I started just going through some repeats of stuff, and Eric July had one up where he was talking to Brianna Wu, just sort of a slice of his regular podcast, and I guess that Brianna had told him that he had the first that Power Man Hero for Hire was the first time a black character had been on the cover of a comic book as the leading protagonist. And apparently there was a book done by, I want to say Gold Key, but it might have been Dell, called Lobo, of all things, that was the first time that an African-American was the leading character and title cover character. So now I've got something I've got to look up for comic book trivia and possession.
And to answer Stu's question about like Niobe doing things with other characters in the AAP sort of sphere, I don't know. But we hinted about that on last night's show, and Ben basically said anything's possible. So who knows?
Well, that would be cool. I mean, that's one of the things I love about all this indie stuff is that if you guys want to cross somebody over, you just talk to each other and you do it. That works great until somebody gets discovered by somebody big with a contract, and then you're like, okay, we got to watch this a little bit closer. But until that point, if you want to see Cyber Frog with Sovereign Wolf. It can happen. All it's got to happen is the two guys want to say, yeah, let's do it.
Well, I mean, I'd be more interested in doing it with like characters that are actually with the label that I'm with, you know what I mean? And
Sure,
try and
yeah.
create like maybe an event, or a mini series, or something that can tie, like the slow building blocks of our own sort of Marvel universe, if you will.
Yeah,
That's
well,
sort of
you do have a
in other words,
label now. That's the
what it
thing.
sounds like, Niobe, you actually want to try to build your own comics universe.
No, he's talking about it. He's got connections with AntiPress.
I'm trying to work on both.
And basically, when he's talking about crossovers and stuff, basically with the publisher that he's with, AntiPress, and their characters, which AntiPress has some really good characters.
Black Hops.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I mean, really good characters. So it could be easily done. But, trying to get, let's say, I'm gonna use one of mine. If it was a comic book, the Steins with, say, Spawn, could it be done? Well, yeah, it could be done. But, dealing with the juggernaut that Spawn is, how would that go down? That's where all the legal stuff comes in. That's where all the lawyers come in, and that's where all the mess comes in. But you do it like with Cyberfrog, or you do it with Sovereign Wolves or something, pick up the phone and talk to each other. That's the difference in what you're playing with.
Yeah,
and
so
I think with Niobe, he could pick up the phone and talk with Ben Dunn straight away.
sure.
I don't know if I can just legit call him, but I mean, I can certainly reach out to him.
But I'm saying if the
Yeah.
negotiations came into where you could be over with, your characters running with AntiPress, you could sit down with Ben straight away and talk with him. You wouldn't have to go through like 50,000 lawyers and stuff.
Yeah. I mean,
if you emailed him, he would email you back.
Yeah, I mean, I have a direct email line with Ben and Brian both now. If I have a suggestion or want to show them something or an idea, I'm sure they'd be willing to listen and hear it out for sure.
Yeah.
I would love to see a big crossover event done. I hate the big crossover events now, and I love the old crossover events. And I think the difference is that the old crossover events, as temporal as they were, they still meant something. They still did something. Now it's like the big crossover event is everybody got together and had dinner.
Well, I mean, it's like every year there's a big crossover event, and back in the day it was like but back in the day there wasn't a big crossover event every year. It was like every 3 or 4 years.
Yeah,
and it came out of nowhere. You weren't. Oh, it's this coming. Extinction Agenda, when that came out. Okay, what's going on? Because all they started doing is putting on the title Extinction Agenda Part 1, and then over in New Mutants Extinction Agenda. So it started jumping back and forth, and you're like going, "Ooh, wait a minute, what's going on here?"
yeah. I go back further than that. I go back to reading a Spider-Man adventure that started with a story and ended that story in the same issue, and then he's like, "Well, I'm going to go home now. Hey, what's that over in Central Park? That looks weird. I better go investigate it." And he swings into this big wide opening and disappears. And they're like, "Where did he go? Find out next month in Secret Wars 1." And it's like, what? A new title from Marvel? Let's go check this out.
Yeah, it was like,
and then you realize everybody's disappearing, and they're saying, "Go see Secret Wars 1."
Yeah.
Robert's right in the chat here. He says crossovers cannot be easily done. My sister is a book editor. DC and Marvel make crossovers seem very easy because unlike other publishers, they drove creator ownership and rights into the ground. Yeah, I mean, that's where crossovers sort of get complicated, especially if you're not with the same publisher. And it's just like, someone brought up the example, say like, Cyberfrog with, some other property, right?
Yeah.
Even then, even if it's just two indie guys on the phone, I still say you guys need a contract. You need to work out the financials of how that's all going to work and who's going to be responsible for what. You know what I mean?
Of course.
DC and Marvel did give us the concept of access.
Well,
yeah, that'll never happen again.
That's not going to happen again. Well, it might if Disney ends up buying DC.
Oh, well, then it'll happen all the time.
Yeah, then we get mess and mess. So.
No, I'm serious. If Disney, they don't need access if Disney buys DC because that will be the same universe. And I guarantee you, Krypton will have exploded because Galactus caused the core to go critical. And
pretty much, yeah, they'll merge. If DC and Marvel, if it ends up where DC and Marvel merge,
it'll make for 1 year of great comics, and then they'll all suck.
Well, maybe 1 year of completely confusing as heck comics. And then, they're like that, trying to figure out how they're fixing everything. But it'd be a disaster in the end.
Well, Well, here's one of the things when I did read a little bit about access to some of the DCU guides and stuff like that. I thought his character was intriguing because the idea of having this one person who could give you access, granted given the name,
to both of the universe,
to any comics universe. I mean, and RJ and I have talked about this a little bit. The idea that there's this being that if you wanted to, some people like RJ and I, we grew up with DC. Some people grew up, with Marvel. Some people grew up with Image. Now, Grant, I know that Access is more just exclusively more to DC and Marvel. But what if that being could also give you access, as it were, to, let's say, the Image Comics universe or Dark Horse or the Archie universe?
Yeah, well, wouldn't
that be fun? Like from my perspective, I would always thought the idea it would be fun if you did have a chance to actually go into those universes and interact with those characters.
IDW has been able to do it with DC, and they didn't even need an access point like that to interact. They're just like, let's just tell the story.
IDW is doing crossovers with Transformers and My Little Pony.
Yeah, okay. Not everything's gold, but at the same time, Star Trek and Green Lantern was a really good story both times.
I do got a flake. Sorry to be so abrupt and just run.
That's cool. That's cool.
But I gotta go. Got a show, another show coming up here in a few minutes. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. But just want to come on and say hello, RJ. Yeah, it's nice to meet you, Mike, and Mr. Jay Lee. I'm a big fan of your work, Jim. Love your X-Men run.
Wait till you see his Dark Goddess run. That thing's coming up.
Hey, wait a minute. Hold on. Hold on. I will pull up the cover real quick. If I remember where I put it. Let's see, it's over here.
He's got one novel out on Amazon. He's going to launch a second one here in September, and he's going into the graphic novel business. He's done some really good artwork that's starting to show up in pinups.
I'll show you. I'm going to show you. This is the only page I have left of the book that I did in '94 with Kelsey Shannon. I did the pencils. Kelsey Shannon did the inks. So let me pull that. Oops,
94. Damn, you are old school, brother.
I'm same age as Michael Turner would be.
Well, in 1994, I would have been 20 years old.
20?
Yeah, I'm 46.
Oh, okay.
I'm 45.
Okay, RJ.
I got it.
That is the page I did back then.
Oh, yeah,
that's my pencils with Kelsey Shannon's inks.
Right on, brother. Yeah, no, that's good.
That came out like that. Now let me find the Dark Goddess one real quick. I gotta. Let's see. Let me put that off, and I'll find the Dark Goddess real quick. I don't.
Okay.
That way I don't have to go through.
I was trying to take the picture off, and then he took the picture off, and then they all shifted under my mouse, and I took Larry off.
Hold on one second. Let me find it.
Story of my life, RJ.
Yeah, my mouse is always clicking just right of where I want to be.
Where are you?
You can't lose your picture this easily, James.
No, well, I got like 50,000 pictures here, so I got to find the right one.
Okay. Now that I can relate to.
But where you at?
I'm looking in the back room. Okay.
Okay, I'll just show this one. This is the one I did a mashup with Geronimo and his character from.
You're talking Robert Geronimo.
Yeah, but that's the one I did with him. So that's the mashup.
I remember that.
Yeah. So that's the Dark Goddess with Geronimo draws. What is it? Blood Rain?
Yeah.
That's his knight and his dragon and Dark Goddess and my dragon, or her dragon, together.
Very cool. Very cool.
Yeah, no, man, I dig it.
So
yeah, too many good artists we're running into. Larry, I know you got to run.
Yeah, I'm gonna jump, man. But thanks for having me on, and gentlemen, good to meet you. And I'm sure we'll talk again at some point.
Don't be a stranger. Just come back anytime.
Sounds good, brother. Peace.
All right, we'll see you. And we've been at it for an hour, 20 minutes. Is there anything we haven't talked about yet that needs to be discussed for this week? I mean, we started talking about milestone returns and then found out that, CBS is still can't believe story. Don't
forget, cons are starting back up. I know there's one at the end of this month and 2 next month, and then we got a bunch in August and September. So the cons are, coming back up. So when they open up, go to them, go see everybody.
Go see everybody. Go buy their comics and get signatures and say hi and schedule interviews and all that good stuff. I did have one other story here that I cringed when I first saw it because of the headline, and then I realized that was the point of the headline. First post is got a little, not really news, but sort of a human interest story angle, I guess, social interest on onomatopoeia in comic books. So the whole kapow, zap, splat, how comic books make sound on the page to create a cross-sensory experience for readers. Again, not news if you've been reading comics, but apparently news to this journalist. And they're like, look, it says blam, it says ugh, look, it says snicked.
Yeah, but onomatopoeias have been a part of comics forever. In fact, yeah, I mean, in fact, one of the things I had actually discovered a few years ago in some of my previous research at DC is apparently Green Arrow at one point actually had a member of his rogues gallery who was named Onomatopoeia, who basically his speech tick was just a bunch of onomatopoeias.
Now, I do disagree with the artist or with the writer here in one sense of this. He's like, he talks about, we only recognize the warning of Wolverine's violent retribution in snicked when the word is drawn and displayed next to the hairy mutant. Likewise, the word thwip by itself may not mean much, but when positioned in context, it can imbue a comic page with excitement and adventure. I contend we all know what snicked and thwip means without having to need any sort of visual guide at all. But maybe that's because we're the comic geeks. I mean, you walk into convention and you say snicked, everyone says Wolverine, and you know that's when the fertilizer is about to hit the ventilator. So,
yeah, and in that picture, you can tell Wolverine's going to have fun beating up whoever he's fixing to go up against because he's got a smile on his face.
Yes, he does.
Though he's missing his cigar, which would have been even better.
Yeah. Back when does he still smoke?
No, they took it out. Oh, you need to talk to Dan Fraga about that.
Oh yeah.
Oh boy, yeah. It was his issue that they went in behind him and erased all of the cigarettes and cigars.
He's got a healing factor. He doesn't care about lung cancer.
I mean, but Dan is so furious about that because it ruined all the pages.
I bet, because there's no way you can do that cleanly.
Yeah, especially when he's got his hand up near his mouth and stuff. What's going on?
I'm thinking.
Yeah, but yeah, that's exactly what happened. They totally blew it.
Oh, gee, yeah. So does Wolverine vape now?
I don't know. I haven't got an issue of Wolverine in probably 10 years, maybe no longer than that. 15 years.
He should chew and then just spit at Scott's shoes all the time in the danger room.
Well, I'll be honest with you. What they should do. Okay, Scott. My viewpoint on Cyclops is real simple. He's Marvel's version of Goku. Great hero. But when it comes to his personal life, he is a complete cluster disaster.
Yep.
And I really, Regine, Marilyn, and all them, they should have fixed that a long time ago. Same thing with Spider-Man. They should have kept him with Mary Jane because those stories were fantastic.
Yeah, they were. They did a great job with, and it was a natural progression too. It wasn't like this suddenly abrupt.
They built Mary Jane and Spider-Man up for at least 100 issues. Until, because it was issue 300 where they did the wedding. Yeah. And I think it was 300.
I've got it.
The Amazing Spider-Man 300 is not, no, it was something else. But Amazing Spider-Man 300 is the Venom thing.
Two things in Amazing Spider-Man that should have stuck. Wedding to Mary Jane from issue not 100, because it was much later than that, because and the death of Aunt May, because that was issue 400.
Yeah.
And I know they were closer in there. Maybe, I don't know what number it was, but maybe it wasn't amazing. Maybe it was spectacular that they got married in.
It was, hold on. I got the book over here. I'll get it. Hold on. I got look.
You're like me. Usually, I've always got stuff in reach. Me, I just type into Google. And okay, so it was the Amazing Spider-Man annual. No, it was the Amazing Spider-Man annual volume 1, number 21. And I've got like 2 copies of The Death of Aunt May, which I thought was a very, very heartrending and impactful story. I remember it had the tombstone cover on it that was laid out. We
I'm
found
back.
it on Google, but go ahead.
It's 500. It's 500.
Now wait a second. What is that? that is not Amazing Spider-Man annual number 21.
No, this is double-sided 500.
Well, did they get married twice?
Hold on. Wait a minute. No. Okay, this is 500. Looks like, this is when they got back together.
Okay. Phew.
I'm sorry. That's when they got back together.
One more day more. Okay.
Yeah, so that's when they got back together. But that's issue 500, which is drawn by the amazing J. Scott Campbell.
Yes, he is. Yeah, but they should have stayed married, and Aunt May should have stayed dead.
And so should Gwen Stacy.
Oh God, Gwen Stacy should have stayed dead, and please, no one ever tell us anything about her and Norman Osborn. That was something we did not need to know about Gwen Stacy. Let her stay pure. She was a sweet girl.
Not only that, and I don't, because of Phoenix, I don't have a problem with killing Jean Grey and bringing her back, but let's not do it 5 or 6 times.
No, let's not. It gets old.
I still would like to see, and they could do this, and I mean really could, have Rachel Summers, not Rachel Gray, but Rachel Summers show back up.
Yeah. I
think that would be, as Phoenix, that would be a whammo of having 2 Phoenixes together.
I just had this idea of you talk about they die, they come back, they die, they come back because they're superheroes. I just thought of Resurrection Man trying to join the Justice League and like, what's your superpower? Well, I die and I come back, and like Superman looked at Green Arrow and Green Arrow looks at Batman and like, what's the big deal here?
Yeah.
We've all done that, been there, got the T-shirt. I have been making progress while we've been talking, boys and girls.
Yay.
Boys. Yeah, this is the kind of mindless work I can get into.
I ran out of. I still got some boards, but I ran out of bags, so I got to get some bags tomorrow.
Good luck. Good luck finding them. I don't know if all the boards and bags were on that ship that got turned around in the canal or what, but
if I have
gone
to,
up in price.
Oh, I know they went. I know they did. I actually went to the Ultra Pro website and ordered stuff.
I went straight, through whoever the producer of these things is, and they were still more expensive than they were.
It's Ultra Pro. Ultra Pro. That
might have been them.
Yeah. The only thing is, I'm looking to see if I can get them. The shipping's what got me. I was like, I don't need it.
Yeah. Well, I eventually found a set on Amazon where it was 1,000 bags and 1,000 boards all together for a decent price. I'm like, go for it. I'm going to need that many anyway.
Yeah.
Robert almost bought some Spider-Man placemats today, but they also had Spider-Gwen and Miles Morales, so I passed. So it wasn't just Spider-Man; it was like the different versions of Spider-Man. I think that pretty much rounds out this week's coverage. Good to have some new guests on.
Good to see Nobi.
Yeah.
Just out of curiosity, is I don't know, Niobe or Niobe, whatever his name is he known by another name that maybe I've heard of? Or
oh well, Niobe is his comic. He does Rebel Action Gaming on his YouTube channel. His name's Larry. He's been around.
Okay, he's the guy who sometimes comes in as Rebel Comics, right?
Yeah. He was in the chat.
I think you did actually do a stream with him recently, right?
He's popped in several times.
Right.
Now, not recently, I haven't, no. But by recently, I mean, it's probably been 3 or 4 months since he's been on the show.
Oh, okay.
So he should come
I
back.
thought you had somebody on who was named Rebel Comics or something like that recently, like within the past few weeks or so. But
I don't think
maybe
so. No. Definitely haven't. Maybe something close to that, but yeah, Larry's Niobe comics, they look great. The cover arts, the interior arts, they all look beautiful. So if you find the Antarctic copies of those, go pick them up and watch for the next Indiegogo or Kickstarter and go through there and get them.
Well, you know that I do try to help you out too during the week. Once I usually get my stream set up, I'll usually drop in and say hi and share.
I see. I look for you, and I was like waving at the screen. Hey, Mike's here.
Well, I mean, like obviously due to certain circumstances, this last week you probably noticed, around the middle of the week I probably wasn't coming in. But aside from the fact that I was getting a little bit busy, we talked about this before with one of your,
Yeah,
there was a particular reason why I didn't come in for one of your guests. That's another.
We're totally done with that.
Yeah.
Okay, so with that being said, guys, I think we had a good discussion. Hour and 30 minutes, not bad. Glad you guys were able to show up. James, missed you last week, so
yeah. I was doing some things.
I think for James' sanity's sake, it probably was a good thing for him that he didn't show up.
For sanity? Oh, dude. No, this ain't nothing. Go be a medic in the military. Then you want to talk about sanity. That's and I was 17, 18 years old doing that.
Oh my gosh.
Yes, I was very young.
Yeah. Also, RJ, if I can have a couple of minutes after you close everything down, just real quick,
Yep, let's do that. All right. So thanks, guys, for showing up. Folks in the chat, really appreciate you guys being here.
It's fun.
Look for us. We'll be back tomorrow. I have no idea what we're going to do. I've got to fill my calendar up. And my calendar is now buried under boards and backers, so I've got to dig it out and see who our guest is going to be. I'll be as surprised as you are. Appreciate you being here, as always. And we just hope